Some are swallowed by hidden crevasses beneath the snow. Others vanish during violent storms where visibility drops to almost zero. And many are never seen again. This is the dark reality of the tallest mountain on Earth. To most people, Everest represents adventure, ambition, and glory. Standing at 29,032 feet above sea level, it is the ultimate challenge for climbers willing to risk everything for a few moments on the summit. Every year, hundreds of people travel from around the world to attempt the climb. They spend years training, preparing their bodies for the brutal conditions waiting high above the clouds. But Everest is far more dangerous than most people realize. Because once you enter the upper parts of the mountain, survival itself becomes a challenge. Above 8,000 meters lies a region known as the death zone, an area where oxygen levels are so low that the human body slowly begins shutting down. Every breath feels weak. Every step becomes exhausting. Even thinking clearly becomes difficult. At that altitude, climbers are slowly dying with every minute they remain there. Now imagine trying to search for a missing person in those conditions. Strong winds can erase footprints within minutes. Temperatures can fall far below freezing. Snowstorms can arrive without warning, turning the mountain into a white nightmare where climbers cannot even see a few feet ahead. If someone disappears on Everest, finding them can become almost impossible. And that is exactly what has happened many times throughout the mountain's history. One of the most famous mysteries involved two British climbers, George Mallory and Andrew Irvine, during an expedition in 1924. At the time, nobody had ever reached the summit of Everest. The mountain was considered nearly impossible to climb. But Mallory and Irvine were determined to make history. On June 8th, the two climbers were last seen high on the mountain, moving toward the summit before disappearing into the clouds. Then they vanished. No one knew if they had reached the top before dying or if Everest stopped them before they could complete the climb. The mystery fascinated the world for decades. Did they become the first humans to stand on the summit nearly 30 years before Edmund Hillary and Tenzing Norgay officially achieved it in 1953? Nobody knew. Then, in 1999, more than 75 years later, a search team made a shocking discovery. George Mallory's frozen body was found lying on the mountain, preserved by the extreme cold. His clothes were torn from the powerful winds, and ropes injuries suggested he may have fallen while descending. But Andrew Irvine was never found. Even more mysterious, the camera the climbers carried was also missing. Many believe that if the camera is ever discovered, it could finally reveal whether they reached the summit before they died. But somewhere beneath Everest's snow and ice, that secret may still remain hidden forever. Stories like this are not rare on Everest. Over the decades, hundreds of climbers have died on the mountain. Some bodies were recovered, but many remain exactly where they fell. In some areas, climbers still pass frozen bodies while heading toward the summit. The reason is horrifyingly simple. Recovering bodies from Everest is incredibly dangerous. At extreme altitudes, even carrying normal equipment becomes exhausting. Moving a body down steep ice walls while battling freezing temperatures and low oxygen can require multiple Sherpas risking their own lives. In many cases, recovery missions are considered too dangerous, so the mountain keeps the dead. Some climbers who disappeared were never found at all. Avalanches buried entire teams beneath snow and ice. Others vanished into deep crevasses thousands of feet deep. And Everest continues claiming lives even today. Modern climbing has also created another deadly problem: overcrowding. During summit season, huge numbers of climbers wait for the short weather window safe enough for climbing. When conditions improve, everyone begins ascending at once. Long lines form near the summit, creating deadly traffic jams inside the death zone. Oxygen supplies slowly run out while climbers wait for hours in freezing temperatures. In 2019, a shocking photograph showed dozens of climbers standing shoulder to shoulder near Everest summit, high above the clouds. Several people died that season after becoming trapped in those dangerous lines. Yet, despite everything, people continue climbing. Because Everest has a strange power over human ambition. The mountain is beautiful, terrifying, and mysterious all at once. Massive glaciers stretch across the landscape. Sunlight reflects off endless snowfields. From the summit, the earth itself seems to curve beneath the sky. For a few moments, climbers stand at the highest place on the planet. But Everest always demands a price. And somewhere high above the clouds, frozen into the mountain forever, many who chase that dream still remain there today.